Oh boy. What remains of Edith Finch? Oh, hold on one second, guys. It just feels weird moving that way for that. Okay, sorry. Let's see what we got. Ah, that's R1.
A lot of this isn't going to make sense to you, and I'm sorry about that. I'm just going to start at the beginning, with the house.
Oh, that's pretty worn down. Little fence.
I lived here until I was 11, but I wasn't allowed inside half the rooms.
Oh, it's the little mailbox of the house. R1 is the interaction button, okay.
Inside the mailbox were bills from 7 years ago, marked urgent, open immediately. I hadn't been back since my brother Lewis's funeral. In her will, my mother left me a key, but didn't tell me what it unlocked. Maybe she thought I'd know, or she thought that the mystery would be enough to bring me back.
I feel like I can explore, but I...
The truth is, even after I inherited the house, I never thought I'd come back to it. But now I had questions about my family that only the house knew the answers to.
Oh, so I can't get in the creek. But the house knows the answers to the questions?
The woods around the house have always been uncomfortably silent, as if they're about to say something but never do.
I can't go in the creek. Oh, I see a deer up there. So let's go back up top and see what that's about. It looks like there's another path up there, but I don't want to... Oh, I can only get over on that bridge.
No one had driven this way in a long time, but I saw a few hoof prints.
All roads. Nice. Little trophy for going through bottom and top. Hey, Grace. Hey, girl.
The house was exactly like I
That is a
remembered it,
very
the way I had
precarious
dreamed
looking
about it.
house. That part of the house? It's like a weird boat dragon head thing. Okay, interesting. The house itself is very interesting too.
As a child, the house made me uncomfortable in a way I couldn't put into words. Now, as a 17-year-old, I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house. Crawling through the doggy door used to be a lot easier when I was 11. For the first time in years, I felt like I was home.
Whoa, lots of books. But not necessarily unorganized.
But instead of a family, there were just memories of one.
Broken shelves. Lots of dishes. Must have been a really big family. Cosmic cuisine, Testina, Thailand, flour, salt, water, yeast, flavors of India, Fanny Farmer Jr. Cookbook, the Book of Mushrooms, Smoke in the Forest, Pleasures of Japanese Culture. So, were all of these cookbooks? Apple pie. Yeah, these are all cookbooks. Are these cookbooks? Walk in Tempura, yeah. The Metamorphoses, Pastoralia, the Aleph, the King in Yellow, Pacific Coast Seafood, Swedish Folk Tales. So then
The
it...
table was still a wreck from the night we left. It was like a bomb had gone off, killing everyone but sparing the furniture.
Oh, jeez. Each room gets a story.
Nothing in the house looked abnormal. There was just too much of it. Like a smile with too many teeth.
What is that down there?
Even the fireplace had a story. Edie told me the bricks came from the original house, after it sank.
Okay.
My mom wasn't much of an optimist, but she never stopped believing that my brother Milton was alive. A lot of things got left behind in the whirlwind of that last night.
The house feels like it's getting creepier. Were there other stuff I missed?
After Lewis started working at the cannery, we all got pretty sick of salmon. Except our cat, Molly.
Yeah, new stuff showed up.
Only one restaurant would
Delivered
deliver to our house. We had Chinese a lot.
There's stuff in here I missed. Not too much. Okay. This house is creepy. Like, if I was in this kind of house alone, I think I'd lose my mind. Oh wait, were there any tidbits and information I missed? Nice looking table.
Great-Grandpa Sven built a music box for Barbara, along with the rest of the house.
Kinda weird. So we got a basement.
Mom
Oh,
always
geez,
told
let's
me
go
to stay
there
out of
for-
the basement, so I wasn't too surprised when the key didn't fit.
Oh.
Edie told me once that every Finch who ever lived is buried somewhere in the library.
That door is just like shut. Dang.
After Milton disappeared, Mom sealed up all the bedrooms. Then Edie retaliated and drilled peepholes. I spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's room. I think my mom sometimes regretted not sealing it up. Lewis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him. Turns out, my mom was really good at keeping secrets. Now it was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, before we do that though. So that probably gets to this room. I didn't see that little card up there. Maybe it's just a sticker on the bottom.
The last time I was in Edith Sr.'s room, I was 10 and she was painting my portrait.
Gregory.
As a kid, I just assumed every house had peepholes and sealed rooms you weren't allowed inside of. My Grandpa Sam spent 7 years sharing a room with his dead brother, Calvin.
Oh boy. Okay. Interesting.
Whenever people ask me about my family, The first thing they always want to know about is Barbara.
So they have quite the list of characters.
Barbara was a child star for 2 years, until America grew out of it. Edie's father, Odin, built the original house. Mom must have locked the third floor stairs on the night we left.
Okay, so the only path left officially is that room, but we didn't get to actually go through this peephole for Molly.
Molly always seemed like a girl I could imagine being friends with, if she hadn't died in 1947.
Quite a history. That was a picture of the original house that sank to the sea.
From the paintings on the wall, it was clear my brother Milton had been here before me. Reading this, maybe it sounds like I had a plan. But I had no idea what was behind
to
that
Molly's
door.
room. We go through the maze of the house.
Just like I
think
had
that's
no
pretty
idea
cool.
where all this was gonna lead. I grew up looking at Molly's room through the peephole. Molly's gerbil had a tiny bedroom with its own even tinier gerbil cage.
That's pretty cool.
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat. The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it.
Oh, jeez. Oh, the door's unsealed.
My Halloween candy was all gone. I kept eating and eating.
Toothpaste? Ooh.
I ate a lot of things that night.
That's probably not the best idea.
Then I heard chirping outside my window. It was a barn swallow going back to her nest. I reached out for her. And suddenly, I was a cat. I tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared.
Where do I go?
Mom and Dad didn't even look at me.
Those look like mannequins.
The babies were all gone. I jumped and I almost got her. I could tell she was getting really tired. Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating that mama bird.
That's horrible.
I gobbled her up. And suddenly, I was an owl. First, all I heard was the wind. Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass. Rabbits. His face looking up and seeing mine through my talons.
Okay.
I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew off to find something bigger. A mama rabbit. She was almost too big to carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating. And suddenly, I was a shark.
What? This looks painful.
I rolled off a cliff and into the ocean. Now, I was hungrier than ever. I wanted fat, juicy seals. I tore off her flipper, and it tasted really good.
I don't want to eat this seal.
Grabbed on tight. But I was so hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed.
You're an octopus.
Now I was a monster, and I smelled people everywhere. I was big, but I moved real quiet.
belly was rusty. His belly was rusty. His belly was and the captain saw.
Passenger, I was still hungry. And to cross the water, I smelled something new. Something I had to have, so I swam towards it. I slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe.
So this is Molly. Okay then. Oh, this is her again.
I got closer and closer.
Gerbil.
All of my stomach started growling. And suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to feed, and we both know I will be delicious.
Okay.
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have.
So that's me, Edith, at 1999.
I can't describe it, but I felt like some part of Molly was still here.
You mean that cat right outside the window? Oh?
This will be obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past. Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly. I spent a lot of time in Great-Grandma Edie's room.
Makes sense considering this is really old. That's a lot of birds.
Edie gave a big interview about a mole man living under the Finch house. My mom was furious. I hadn't thought of myself as Edith Jr. for a long, long time. One summer, they evacuated the island, but Edie refused to go. For a few weeks, she was a celebrity. When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have, but she didn't.
And that would be what we saw when we came in.
Her room was like a museum. For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune and misfortune.
Little chicken door. Medicine bottle. That is quite an interesting bathroom design you have there. That's supposed to be coral?
The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife, Kay, left on the house was the pink bathroom. It was a pretty big trace.
Yes, it looks like it. Is this another one?
There's a secret in this bathroom. It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book.
Wait, I didn't want to go out yet. I want to see if I can open that door right there. Oh, wait, no, that door's sealed. You can tell. Okay. Back through the little hidden hole we go.
Sven gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down.
Milton in his swing. Whose room is this? Oh yeah, those two. Guy lived with his brother Calvin for 2 years.
I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin. And that he never talked about him. No, don't go down there. I misjudged. I thought the next room would be at the bottom. At the top, not the bottom. I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it. My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom, and he did. At Barbara's funeral, we swore he'd never be afraid again. And he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
Sam! Calvin! Dinner's ready! Coming!
But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it. I told him going around was impossible. Maybe if I hadn't said that.
Calvin! I'm not gonna tell you again!
Maybe if the wind hadn't picked up. Then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it. I think he'd already made up his mind. That's what I want to remember about my brother. That's the day he made up his mind to fly. And he did.
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing. After the funeral, Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room.
So is there no way to get Sam's side?
Mom said Grandpa Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room again.
Let's go through here.
The passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies.
I never even thought of that, so we're back out. I don't know why, this place just feels creepy. Who are we at now? Oh. Barbara.
Growing up, I always thought of Barbara as a child star. I never thought about how hard it must have been for her afterwards.
Okay, so that little thing is just that. It literally a handle to get you back in. Got it. You can't look at the people from the other side. Okay. So where do we find Barbara's story?
Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
Old Jack here with another ghastly tale inspired by America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it The Surprise Ending of Barbara Finch. As a child star, Barbara was famous for her scream. Now at 16, she was all washed up. A has-been. In a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
That came from the basement.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box. The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe. I'll be back in a sec.
20 minutes later, Rick hadn't returned. So Barbara went to look for him, right on cue. She reached for the music box. And as she wound the key, she listened for Rick, but the house was silent. She found Rick's crutch and imagined the worst.
The gang's leader is the infamous Hookman killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
The old fridge rattled and grew still.
Oh dear!
Oh!
Rick?
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your scream.
Well, I'm not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and you...
She threw him out, but she kept a little something to remember him by.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the late picture show. Hours later...
Barbara! Walter, what's going on up there? Ah! Okay, I'm coming up, but if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
Walter had vanished, but his bedside radio was still on.
Orcas Island police describe the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand. Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
Barbara turned, saw the hook man, and was speechless. He was quite smashing. He couldn't get enough of Barbara.
Okay, Barbara, there's gotta be another way out of here.
That night, she played her part beautifully. Molly's door hadn't been opened in years. The hinges groaned. He wasn't moving, but she sensed the story might not be over yet.
Yeah, he's gone.
The hookman had vanished. She listened for his breathing, but all she heard was... Someone at the door was dying to speak to young Barbara. At the door, she heard whispering. It was coming from inside the house.
Oh dear.
The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come true. Then she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous. And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life. I wasn't there myself, but I hear Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night. And little Walter? Hiding under his bed the whole time. He took it all pretty hard, but that's another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box is all they ever found of her. Her ear. Now that's what I call a real eerie tale.
And that is the story of Barbara Finch.
Edie told me all Barbara wanted was to be remembered, as absurd as that comic was. Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending.
Yeah, I guess she's gonna be remembered for that. Oh, I get it. And from that, it tells you how to get to the next place. The basement.
I guess now I know why Mom didn't like me playing with the music box.
It's getting darker. Let's go to the creepy basement.
It's funny. All those times I played with the music box and never found the basement key.
Pretty cool mechanism, though. was Grandpa's Finn, right? Like they do puzzles and stuff.
Mom said the basement was off limits, unless I wanted another tetanus shot. I saw Edie sneak down to the basement once, carrying packages. I thought maybe she was hiding presents. It turned out she was hiding a lot more than that.
Was there anything at Sven's area to kind of tell us about Sven? Nope, not really. So the fridge. Had a hidden door. It's a cave?
I remember asking Mom once about where Walter had gone. She said after Barbara died, he got as far away as he could. If there's a pattern in all these stories, I think it's that none of us has gotten very far.
Oh.
Goodbye, everyone. I can't believe I've been down here for 30 years. On that first day, after the shaking started, I didn't think I'd survive a week. But after a few days, I settled into a routine. That's what kept me sane. Having a schedule, living for today. I always expected to be dead tomorrow. But if you wait long enough, you get used to anything. Even a monster on the other side of the door starts to feel normal. Almost friendly. And then one day, everything just stopped. Whatever that thing was, it was gone. Maybe it got tired of waiting. Or maybe I just got tired of being afraid. It's been a week now, the longest in 30 years. I'm done waiting. I have to leave while I still can.
What exactly am I doing? Oh. Oh! So this tells you where the next door is. Okay then.
I know it's out there, somewhere. Whatever killed Barbara and Molly and Calvin.
Oh, a sledgehammer.
Maybe this is all a mistake. But I need to stop living the same day, even if it kills me. Whatever's out there, I want you to know I'm ready for it. I'm going to appreciate all of it, especially the food. I don't mind if I only have a year left, or a month, or a single week. I'd be happy with one new day. I can already imagine the sun on my face.
Okay, and that was how he died.
Walter died when I was 6. I can't believe my mom never told me he was down here.
Okay. So we still got to find out about Sam, Gus, Gregory, Milton, Lewis, Odin, Eddie, and Sven. And Ingeborg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And K. Maybe not the leaves. Maybe we do, but maybe not. If we do, without the leaves, Eddie, Sam, Odin, Gregory, Gus, Dawn, Milton, Lewis, that's 8. Then with the 4 leaves, that would be 12 more.
I'm sure my mom was trying to protect me. Maybe she was afraid I'd end up like Walter. But if she never told me about an uncle under the house...
Oh, Barbara Finch. What else has she never told you about?
I can only imagine what else she was hiding.
Yeah.
I don't want to make the same mistakes she made.
Oh, that's like all his trash and maybe his bathroom?
Trying to bury something that's still alive. Now that there's only one of us left, or maybe 2.
Yeah, because Milton's never been found.
I thought it was time I heard the stories for myself. And found out what happened to everyone else. But now I'm worried the stories themselves might be the problem. Maybe we believed so much in a family curse, we made it real. I don't know if I should even be writing this. Maybe it'd be better if all this just died with me. But I thought you should know about your family.
Oh?
And the history you're a part of.
Oh, so she's writing this for her daughter, maybe?
Though to be honest, I feel as lost as you probably do right now.
This is a pretty interesting game. It's just
I
a
think
narrative.
People in these stories believed them, for what that's worth.
I'm going to assume the front door is locked.
you look at the house, that history of imagination and stubbornness and madness, any of it seems possible.
We can't go back this way, but where's it bringing us over?
I think
here?
we've been surrounded by death for so long, we've just gotten used to it.
We still have to go see the attic. And all those upper
What kind of
rooms.
family finishes building a cemetery before starting the house?
Oof, yeah. Oh, we have a cemetery back here. Okay.
It's embarrassing for me to admit this, but the pet cemetery made me more uncomfortable than the human one. 3 of the gerbils were mine, and 2 had been my fault.
Zerpy, Lurpy, Furpy, Chirpy, Burpy, Derpy, Derpy Jr. Lucy, Daisy, Charlie, Tucker, Coco, and Zoe. And then Bob, Oliver, Shotzi, Shadow, Christopher, a frog, and Bailey. This is the pet cemetery.
Sven built the house, but it was Edie who designed the cemetery.
Molly Finch, the winged cat. Calvin Finch, the flyer. Sven Finch, the carpenter. Edie Finch, I guess she was knowledge. Walter Finch was the name that was buried with the monsters, and Barbara Finch was the movie star.
I'm sure Odin's monument had been Edie's idea. My mom was always trying to move on, but for Edie, the past never went away. She could see it poking out of the water at low tide.
That's the original house.
Edie said she dreamed about the old house every night. Edie's side was always easier for me to understand. But the older I get, the more I can see where my mom was coming from.
Oh, we went down a different path. This is the other part of the cemetery.
Her dad had been pretty
Sam,
strict, but it
Gregory,
wasn't enough
and
to save her
Gus.
brothers. She was just trying to do better.
Yeah, we got Lewis.
She lost 2 of her brothers,
Sanjay,
just like I
and
did.
Milton.
I get why she tried so hard to protect us. There's so many things I wish I could ask my mom now. Part of me thinks this is what she wanted all along. For me to come back someday and find everything out for myself.
Does this lead back to the house?
But looking back on
Oh,
it
this is
now,
the big tree. Okay. And it
if she told me
does-
there was going to be so much climbing, I never would have come when I was 22 weeks pregnant.
Oh, jeez. Hmm. 22 weeks. What is that? And not normal one's 9 months, 4 weeks, 36 weeks. So she's over a little bit over halfway through pregnancy. I feel like I'm supposed to get up here. Oh, here's the ladder. Okay, there we go.
I never met Grandpa Sam, but I think he and my mom had a lot in common.
Yeah, there we go.
They were both pretty intense.
So I'm like a young kid.
Instead of hiding from death, Sam seemed to go out of his way to meet it. Sam spent his life shooting photos, but Mom said he got nervous being in front of the camera. I guess we're all afraid of something.
Dawn, I promise, you'll never forget this weekend.
Yes, sir.
These memories are gonna last a lifetime.
Mm-hmm. Am I gonna have to shoot anything?
It's a hunting trip, Dawn. Shooting is strongly encouraged.
What?
Perfect.
It's gonna rain the whole weekend, isn't it? I will never forget this weekend, Dad.
That's the spirit. Okay, got it.
I'm gonna take some pictures, okay?
Just be careful. The camera's older than you are.
Aw. You're right, Dad. It's starting to clear up. Still freezing, though.
Definitely should not have drunk all that coffee.
No idea what I'm supposed to be zooming in on.
Nothing quite like being outside.
Hold still while I take a picture of you.
I definitely won't be. Hey!
That's a keeper.
Oop.
Oh, she was the one taking the picture.
I'm just saying, I'm not always gonna be here, Don. You'll need to remember this stuff, if you want to survive.
I'll be fine, Dad.
You know who else thought he was gonna be fine?
Some guy who died.
Don, I'm being serious.
I know, Dad. You're always serious. Doesn't being out here make you want to chill out?
Well, to tell you the truth, I haven't been out here in 20 years. Don, don't you think you could find something more interesting to photograph? Last time I was with my brother Calvin. Man, that was a great trip. Your grandpa Sven taught us how to fish, how to build a fire.
Dad!
Good eyes, Don. Before you take the shot, let me get a picture of you.
Dad, I...
Just breathe. Turn off your imagination. Focus on your target.
Am I blind?
Let me get behind you.
There we go.
Do I have to do this?
have to do anything. But if you want to survive, you'll need to be strong. Great shot, Don! I'm proud of you, Dawn. Always remember that, okay?
Dad, it's twitching. I think
That's
it's
totally normal, Dawn. Just focus on the camera. Try not to think about—
Dad!
Oh boy. Wow, that's a way to go.
Of all these stories, that's the one I wish most that my mom had told me.
So far. Oh. I guess they don't need to keep it a secret in a... or locked up in an old... Oh, wait. Why'd I go back in? HVAC for the house. I don't think this is big enough. Probably need multiple units.
After Sam died, my mom and Edie got really close. They'd both lost a lot.
Oh, and this is Gregory. Little path through the HVAC. Oh, this is Gregory and Dawn. But this one is... Oh wait, no. I was reading that, you jerk.
Dear Kay, do you remember the way Gregory used to laugh when he thought he was alone? Like something funny was happening, but only he could see it. I think he saw things the rest of us don't.
Now I'm playing as a baby.
Gregory, it's time to... Hold on, sweetie. Hello? Sam, I told you I don't want to talk right now.
I wonder what he saw. What his world was like. He reminded me so much of Calvin. Lost in his imagination. I know how silly it sounds. That I worried about a baby being too happy. But I could feel him slipping away.
Sorry about that, Gregory.
I know you did everything you could. Maybe if I hadn't called that night.
Damn it.
I wish he could have told us about the world he saw.
Oh.
so much I don't understand. About Gregory. About everything. But I know what happened wasn't your fault. I'm sure he's happy. And he'd want you to be happy too.
Well,
Good luck,
that's
Love,
depressing.
Sam.
Jeez. Oh, jeez, Gregory. Oh, so we're going up. Okay, I see. So now we're going to the other kids. So I might have to assume that the person we're reading off of is actually
I
dead.
can't imagine my mom ever writing poetry, and yet...
A poem for Gus, who always said the wedding was a bad idea. Our father never hit us kids, at least not very hard, before the day my brother said with teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard. My father made him come, of course, but Gus stood far apart, just flew his kite and bottled up the storm inside his heart. I tried to talk him out of it, but though he'd never met her, "We don't need a stepmom," were the words that I
now
remember.
pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
Where am I going? I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't see any more text. Oh. Gee, that's horrible.
When the time for photos came, Dad ordered him to come here. But Gus declined, and as a sign held up his middle finger.
Whoa.
The wind picked up, and panicked geese appeared and quickly went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent.
Except for Gus.
The rain came down in buckets then, but no one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent our dad had crudely made. The thunder sounded much too close and full of angry power. But all my father said to this was, "Make the music louder." I wish that I could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, the sea, and foam. But I didn't, until we found you.
She never talked about him, but Mom told me once if I was a boy, they were going to name me Gus.
So, our mother must have been Dawn. And that's why we don't have a note for our mother right here. Wait, was there something there? No. Yep, lots
My
of
mom moved
friggin'
up to the
climbing.
loft after her brothers died. At the time, it was as far away as she could get. She spent a summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay. Religion was another thing my mom never talked about, but I think it helped her a lot after her dad died. My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English. Lewis was born a year later. When my dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go. I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back.
Milton, Lewis, and Edith.
And to see kids
This is
in the house
a writer.
again. The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that. And for a while, things were good. Almost normal. But it didn't last.
And we've stopped doing the secret passage.
The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle. After Milton disappeared, the only thing he left behind was a room full of paintings.
There's a way in, though. There's a second story. Oh, wow, that's amazing. And then this is Milton's memorial. He was a talented kid. At least that's how he's portrayed.
Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
I was 4 when Milton disappeared. Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors. Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out.
So where do I go now? Oh, I can't actually go this way. Well, jerk. Oh, I still go up. You just kind of miss everything else as you go. This is a massive house.
Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Louis blamed himself. After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room. Until Mom got him a job at the cannery. Everyone always told me to stay out of Louis's room. Except Louis.
He was kind of like the hippie one.
Louis's room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Louis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Louis first noticed the monotony of his daily life. He kept working at the cannery, but he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to wander. I asked him to describe it. He said he started small. Imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about. Then something moved. Bats. And toads. And things that have not names. He knew it was all in his head. But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself.
So you gotta keep cutting the fish to progress.
But he found something more. I worried about him then. Daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his boss. But he said Louis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Louis. So I let him go on. I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend. On the edge of a city he named Louis Topia. He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians.
This guy seemed like he's suffering from depression.
And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger.
will be the last
He no
person we
longer
do for
spoke
today.
at the cannery. But his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him. At all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination, so he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor, and he won. They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him. He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on. New Louisville.
Louistopia?
St. Louis.
Louistopia? One of them?
He started drifting away from our reality.
So this looks kind of easy, and it is, but the ship is controlled by the left hand, and... Oof.
Minneapolis. Until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery. Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Louis kept sailing on. In Louisburg, he heard rumors of a...
Oh, I can't make it to that
handsome
other one.
queen.
They let you pick.
The queen was on her own quest for... sinister serpents.
Nope, I can't go backwards. I bet that was a trophy right there. Hit the serpents.
He followed the sound of her...
Oh, that's just...
silver harp.
As it go over, it's gonna make noise.
His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound. He knew the world was all in his imagination. But he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king.
Oh, we get a face for him, too. So that's what Louis looked like.
For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Louis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace. My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him.
Oh no, this is gonna be bloody. He has a switch. Or that's more like a 2DS.
He began to forget the world we know. I think it pained him to remember Lewis, the cannery worker.
Oh, we are the adventurer Lewis, and this is the Lewis, the cannery worker.
He began to despise the man with a royal contempt.
Oh, he had a climb.
I still thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder. The palace would be packed with his companions.
What exactly is at the edge here?
Including the wise Calico who insisted on advising him. His queen waited, holding his crown. There was only one thing left to do.
Put his head down and receive his crown.
Bend down his head. And the rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
Oh, that was kind of... That was probably the darkest one so far.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
Okay. Really? Who's left? There's 3? Oh boy, guys, we might just play through
Lewis
the
and I
rest.
spent a lot of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them. He died a lot.
What time is it? I'd really love to continue. But I'll pick this up tomorrow when I get home from work. This is quite a story. But I gotta work in the morning, so I'll leave it up here. We've learned the fantastic transmogrifying adventure of Molly. The horror-filled story of Barbara the movie star. Of the kid who only wanted to fly. Of the father trying to toughen up his daughter. Of the man running from the monsters. Of the kid that was too happy. Of the kid who had a disdain for a wedding. Of an artist who found a magic paintbrush. And of a man who was a king. All we have left are of our mother, Odin and Eddie. I'm assuming the ones that are leaves. The leaves are the ones that married into the family. Not the actual members of the family. Anyways, this is quite a deep game, and I'm enjoying it. So we'll see it later. So we'll see the end of it tonight, since I guess today is technically tomorrow. We'll see the end of it tonight.